coming on here and discussing the energies for the week. And perhaps it was probably best that this message, was shifted from yesterday to today just because of how things were aligning. And again, just starting up the video up on Instagram. Hello, thank you for joining. And as you know, that today's weekly morning ritual plus the energy reading for the week was actually shifted from Monday to today, Tuesday. And so I'm currently live here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, as well as Instagram Live. So if you see me shifting my vision from different windows and cameras, I'm not ignoring you. I'm speaking to all the audience here. And so today the moon is in Gemini. We have let's look at it from the end perspective. And I think this is just a beautiful way to enter into this message because, one, when we see the bigger picture, then we're able to step back from the little minute things that pop up in our day-to-day during the week. And so that gives us a breathing room to go like, oh, okay, I don't need to be so entangled with what is going on right now, because in the bigger scope of things, this is just part of the journey. And so part of our journey is that we're ending this week on August 8th, 8/8, with the new moon in Leo. And the new moon in Leo is this fiery energy about tuning in with ourselves about what is it in our lives, in our own inner aspect, that deserves and needs more love. Because when we nurture something that has love, right, is healthy, it's growing, it's a beautiful, vibrant plant. I'm thinking of my bamboo tree that I have in my other room, and it is just like growing, right? Strong, and the leaves are just blossoming out in all these different expansive ways. And when we're a healthy state of love and confidence, which is Leo, and we see our value, our worth, our inner star within, we shine really bright. And we are able to really go after those things that we're desiring, right? But not just in terms of desire, but we're able to make changes, decisions in our lives from a more confident space, not doubting ourselves, right? When you're in full confidence, it's a yes, right? There's no question, no matter what anyone says or anything that comes forth in your field of vision, such as an obstacle or trial. This is going to lead to this conversation. You go forth and you just have no doubt. You're just not going to let it weigh you down. And so this brings us in with, hi, Stone Street. This brings us in with this message that came forth yesterday. If you were feeling that energy, like you said, Kalena, right? I was getting this energy of like death, right? And this is actually the full moon card that I pulled for last cycle, full moon in Aquarius, that we just literally had about 2 weeks coming forth when we entered this new moon this weekend. And I was wondering, why am I feeling this energy? I knew in part it wasn't really mine, but collective. And then I found out some news yesterday about a passing of a sister, which I thought was like, it was really a surprise that came forth. And I'm like, okay, everything's a symbol in a reality, a lesson to look forth at a deeper perspective. And this brought me back to today, the card with death, and doing my studies with the shamanic healing and lessons. And when we talk about death, obstacles, physical, mental, emotional, right? They're all just transitory states that we go through. And the way I was learning from the shamanic perspective is like, we know in the physical perspective, we will leave and shed this vessel, right? If you tuned into yesterday's IG live, I started talking about like the yogic path, the yogic way of perspective of seeing things. And when we practice, yes, we're practicing physical movements and asanas, but the real work is not just at the physical level, but the real work that we're doing is actually underneath. It's at these mental states that we are observing in stillness and quietness, in our breath. You know, we're observing the thoughts that are coming up. Oh, am I able to get into this pose? Am I able to wrap around or do whatnot? You know, oh, does I feel uncomfortable, right? All these things. Oh, well, she quit talking so I can move forward to the next pose, right? And then you have these emotions that come up because we have these storage of energy in the physical body, and they come up, right? And we translate them through the thoughts, through the words, through everything. And all of that is going through a cycle of change. And again, going back to that shamanic perspective as an example, is that through all these layers of states of who we are in totality, right? It all comes forth through this experience that we're living. In order to go from one stage to the next, in order to, again, Sun and Leo, Moon and Leo this weekend, to really shine bright, we are going through that ego death. So any emotions I experienced yesterday, or any thoughts that came up, that just, at an emotional level, it feels very like heavy, or just mental wise, those are just things that are like a plant. Again, they're just shedding out, right? You're letting them go. Something's being released so that the underneath will blossom up, right? And I was like looking into it this morning, and I'm like, okay, a lot of symbolism of death, change, and you know, where is this leading in towards from where we are right now? And the message was not to forget that the bigger picture is growth, right? And it's all necessary in terms of an initiation. Yes, at the bigger scope, you leave the physical body and you leave it. It's the physical death. But in the in-between, in our daily lives, we go through these tests. We go through these moments in our lives that feel like they weigh on us heavily, or they're challenging us. And maybe in the moment, it feels like, oh, how much more of this can I deal with, you know? And I say it like this, because in those moments, you can get easily lost in thought, right? And the emotions. But when you detach, or you step away from what is initially coming up, which is the attachment of ego, or your old thoughts, your old beliefs, and you just allow it to breathe through you, to move through you, just observe without judgment. That is when you allow that wave to pass through, and then you're able to see from your inner light, which is your soul's truth, right? Your higher self, unity, consciousness, the truth of what is actually happening, and what this situation, what this test, what this initiation, the stage of initiation is helping you with for your growth. And I just thought that was the biggest message for, I mean, at least coming from the weekend up to today, depending on where you are and feeling and your experience. And just knowing that the stage too shall pass, right? And again, the bigger picture is that we are shining a light on what I've been seeing is, again, just another level of who you really are at a deeper perspective. An example that a beautiful, within a beautiful community that I've been seeing, to kind of illuminate this message a little bit deeper, is that you have a calling, something that's calling forth towards you, right? And that calling, I always have this crystal, I tend to have it around here, is a light, right? It's your guiding light, just like the stars in the background here. Just like a candle's a flame, right? And the thoughts, the emotions that come up, the levels of discomfort, and this stage of initiation is really, those are the distractions. And one of the bigger messages that I was getting to this morning is to remember the vision, remember the light. And Leo is that energy that just steps forth and goes for it. When the higher vision, the way my friend explained it too, is, for example, when you look at something kind of like Jesus, right? Christ consciousness, and you're like, oh, this is the image that I'm aspiring towards, or this is the vision that I'm wanting to move towards, because this is where my heart is calling me, my inner light, right? When Leo shoots off like a rocket, right? It just shoots off. It has that confidence to move towards it. And I'm looking out, so it just helps me to see it. It has this energy to move towards the vision. And in the moving in the direction of what I'm aiming towards and shooting my arrow, and for those of you on the other stream, you could see this because of the bigger scope of window. But wherever I'm shooting that bow, that path is already laid out and clear. Yesterday I said on the stream that you already have it. Whatever the vision and calling is in your heart, it already exists. You're only here just to experience it, right? And the reason why we stop ourselves is because these questions and doubts, we are doubting it when the vision was the ultimate aim. And we get to decide how we synthesize the experience through all the lessons that we are exposed to and, indulge ourselves in towards. And essentially, it is the fact that when you allow yourself just to be and move towards that experience, or just embrace it fully, like, Leo does, in a healthy way. For those of you, Soulja Boy, there we go, okay. Soulja Boy was coming up in my forefront of my mind. This is a cultural reference. And whenever you see him, he talks as if like he was the first one to do it, right? And it's not entirely a bad thing, because sometimes we need to have that inward confidence. He's like, that was pretty loud. I was the first rapper to rap about this shoe. He was on Complex for sneakers, and he like completely owned that. And yet it's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think it's an example of how we need to own our shit. We need to own what it is that we are moving towards, what it is that you're being called towards, or just whatever it is that you do, right? Or want to do. Own it like Soulja Boy does. Unapologetically, but without forgetting that it stems from the space of love and light. And so, again, it's like I'm trying to reframe this and articulate it in a way that it comes through. Okay, just taking a moment. When you allow yourself just to follow that path. Hey, Blue Magic. Love that name. When you allow yourself just to follow that path. The example I have right now is just the vision of, oh, I want to see more of myself as the energy of Christ consciousness, right? And this is the energy I'm moving towards. And just take the step. If that resonates, right? Take the step. Because the path has already been laid out and clear. What stops us from moving forward is just old conditioning. And this is why it's so important right now, especially for the next 4 weeks, because this is energy new moon, lasts for about a month, right? To cultivate your own, one, be your own energy leader, be your own soldier boy. You know, yes, you know, talk highly about yourself, royalty, the sun, the king, Leo energy, right? Own it. Because that energy will carry you forward, so you can stop holding yourself back and questioning every single movement. Because that's not the time. So to do that right now. And so one of the things, in order to do that, you have to sort of make peace with what is coming up for you in terms of your own personal initiations in your life. And just ask, like, in terms of the bigger picture of where I'm shooting my arrow, where I'm shooting my highest aim, what my heart is calling me towards, how does this play in my bigger journey? An example to help just kind of jump any like energy in your mind, right, subconscious mind. We are buying a home and everything's been cleared, but the last process is just stalling. From one perspective, you can have someone who's frustrated and just irked out and all these emotions are coming up. The other perspective, you can have someone else who's in the same boat, right? But they are just allowing it to come forth, right? And your higher self, your inner light, your soul's truth that's emanating from this personal initiations that we're all going through at different levels and different situations and scenarios is giving you that inner wisdom to tune in. And so when you bring this back to the yogic perspective, we talk about the physical body, the mental body, and the body of the formless, the infinite source energy that creates all things, that is in all things. The goal is to not be attached to the physical things that come up, because that's just surface layer. In terms of a cake, it is just the raw ingredients, right? That's not the cake that you're gonna eat at the end of the freaking day, right? Cake. What we're looking for is we're looking to tap into that inner fire of Leo, your source light, that is the self of you that actually helps you to get through your initiations, through your trials and your obstacles of your life, because that is the part of you that walks through the fire and makes it through. When it sees the fire and says, I have to walk over this pit of coals that are lit up, okay, ego is the first step, that first layer, the raw ingredients, the physical level, that goes like, oh, I can't do this. How am I supposed to walk over this? How am I going to get through this? When you let that part of self go, it is the mental state that receives the information from the external initiatory experiences and is able to translate that energy to your inward self, your soul's fire, if that makes sense, for your message of illumination. And this enters you in to that tapping into what we're talking about, your cosmic source, your energy, your fire. And that is the wisdom you get from your spirit. It's all you. Your higher source, right? Your spirit guides. And so one of the major messages for this week, or wherever you are, if you've already overcome, it's just a reminder that the only way out is through. And the only way out is through, because in all initiations, you can't stop walking halfway through and just give up, right? Or else you're going to be lit to shreds. And you know what's going to happen. It's obvious if you stop. And so one of the mantras that I felt I would love to share with you guys is that, and let me know if this resonates with you at any level, any images or words that come up for you. I start to say in moments that sometimes when you're so stuck on the physical sensations or observances of what's going on, it's harder for you to tune in to your cosmic guidance, your inner source, the spirit within you, and the wisdom of what the next actionary steps are needed to do to help you to keep going along. Is I just close my eyes, I breathe in, and then I breathe out. And I say, that I am. May the part of me that knows, may the part of me that remembers, because remember, everything's already done. Where we are exactly is just the experience of it. May the part of me that remembers come forth and help me to get to that next breath, to get me to the next stage, to get me to that next movement that will help me to complete that pose. Help me to complete this stage of my initiation. And so these moments that we experience cannot be reasoned or logicked. They can only be felt, and they can only be known through experience. And just reading through that, the beautiful thing about being this human experience and being grateful that you're alive, going back to that death card, right? And what I shared today, about the passing of someone in the community, is that only humans are the ones that are able to be in the physical body and yet at the same time in tune, attuned, and connected to their higher source. We're the ones that at the same time as I'm sitting down looking into the message for today and the message of the week leading in for the new moon in Leo, we're able to look ahead of time and space, see where we want to go in our mind's eye, in our vision, and we're also able to reflect back on what just happened. We're also able to look at exactly where we are from a grander perspective. And that's a beautiful thing about being in this human body experience versus other living organisms, right? Because we have that ability to tap in to that consciousness. And so this part of the message for the week is, when it comes to these initiations, the trials in our lives, the obstacles that come forth that are leading up towards the shining of your inner light as your Leo for the next month, for this month coming up, 4 weeks after August 8th, right? is that these initiations are about letting go the layers of our personality, letting go of the layers of the ego, the thoughts, the beliefs. And again, it's like looking at the layers of a cake, or peeling back the layers of an onion. Every single time we go through an initiation, it's essentially, in the shamanic perspective, it's a small egoic, it's a small version of a death experience that ultimately we all know will be evolving to the next stage at a physical level. But these little experiences that we experience in our day-to-days or our lives that come up are just smaller versions, simulations, like a video game, right? Smaller stages of death to practice that, you know what, I'm bigger than this thing. It's occurred. I've gone through something in the past that was probably stronger than this before, right? And if I've overcome that, I can overcome this for a reason, for a purpose. And we're just letting go of all of these beliefs and layerings that don't serve us anymore. So that we could see and sense our true self. And so someone asked on the post yesterday, you know, can we see yoga? Because yoga, so many ways. And one of the major ones I get a lot of feedback from others is like, oh, yoga is not just a physical asana at a gym where you're, you know, wearing leggings. And that's one feedback other people say. And I go like, yeah, we know that. You know, for those who choose to dive deeper, we know that. So we don't say that, right? Because we know that yoga is really the yoking of all the reservoirs of you that make you up, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and brings it all together so that you connect to the eternal, infinite possibility and potential that you have living dormant within you in your physical vessel. And when you begin to develop this understanding of this infinite energy already lying within you, you are able to see, okay, yeah, my life experience isn't just this physical vessel. It's not just physical room and what I'm experiencing. I'm a freaking energetic spirit, you know, here, and I'm able to create, I'm able to change things just with the power that I have already lying within me. And this frees us from being overly active and attached to the things at the physical level, because we recognize our true essence, which is the sun, the moon, and Leo, right? And wherever you are, I don't know, I will point you tuned in into this message, but if you go and watch the recording, I'd love to, you know, just hear your stories, your feedback. And I think one prime example I want to leave with you guys before we go into the cosmic tune-up is, like I was saying, you know, we're going in the process of buying a home, and it's like there's risk, yes, risk involved when it comes to any type of investment, whether it's a physical investment, your own personal growth, or any other type of energetic exchange, right? Time, presence, money, right? And the risk, the pros and the cons, pros and cons that come up, we want to make sure we always remember what the pros are. What are the pros? What is that bigger vision that you're aiming for, right? And is this, what I'm going through, worth it? So your inner fire helps you to encourage you to keep moving on, to keep walking across the coals of the fire that are laid out before you in your initiation. And one thing I told my husband was that we've been together for like 8 years, and we've experienced some things, right, in our life. Just alone in our own experience. In the first year, we had the passing of his father, right? And then the third year after that, another family member. And then my father transitioned out of this physical life last year. And honestly, when my dad transitioned, I felt like, okay, that was the worst thing that happened to me in terms of an emotional attachment, a physical experience, because not having my physical best friend talking to me, right, on the phone, mental. And because I've experienced that, it doesn't matter what comes up now. I'll be willing to wait. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, why am I gonna sit in the waiting, angry, upset, any more than I have to? Any more than you have to? And this is just a personal message that I felt could hit home for anyone watching this. As a spiritual guide teaching yoga, the essence of our totality, right? Not just at the physical level, but mental, emotional, spiritual, and metaphysical above and beyond, right? Earth and cosmic energy is what I do here in terms of messaging. This is the part of the yogic experience that I get feedback from most recently from studios, right? That they don't get. And I just love sharing this with you because it's truth and wisdom that will help you to keep moving, right? This is a part that we often don't get the opportunity to join in a collective. So whatever it is that you're going through, remember the last thing that you just went through, you overcame that, and you're more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for. And so with that, if by now you have not made yourselves comfortable, feel free to give yourself a minute. And as we've been doing in the past couple weeks, the morning rituals, this is going to be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. Today I have an incense that I love to use, and it's for the throat chakra. We're working with New Moon Leo, which is for this week, so you can come back to the recording and practice this. This is set at minute 35, and I'll make sure to add that as a timestamp on the YouTube. And symbolically, when we work with energies, we're looking to express our highest truth right now, right? We're looking to tap into our inner fire, and we're looking to intentionally let go of any, again, layers of personality, thoughts, beliefs, egoic programs that we've been put on and carried with us, and let them go, shed them, so that the light of who we really are comes forth. And we remember, you know what, I don't need to be afraid to take that next step. I don't need to be afraid of whatever, because I know I'm not alone, and I have the infinite source within me and my spirit guides guiding me every second of every day. And so this is what this throat chakra incense is symbolically serving for us today. And so this morning ritual is in light of that whomever is watching it, whether it's present moment in the live or in the recording, or when you tune back and just continue to come back, that every time that you hear this, every time that you watch this recording, you just remember and you're able to just accept what is, because that is the law of what is it? The law of, I think they said receptivity, right? It is what it is. But there's a deeper essence beneath the layer of the veil. And so getting yourselves comfortable, having tuned in to the energy of the week, the message of the week that came forth, and allowing yourself just to sit up with the spine straight or hands on top of the knees. Envision that you are in the studio space sanctuary with me, because we are. And just begin to close your eyes and tune in to your breath. Your hands are on top of your knees as you take a deep inhale. Open up your palms to the sky. And then exhale, open up the mouth and breathe out. Breathing in through the nose. And focusing your inner awareness to your third eye, that place right above the eyebrows. And exhale, breathe out through the mouth. And allow yourself to tune in and hear your breath. Breathing in through the nose. And exhaling, breathing out. Letting go of shame. Letting go of the fear of taking up space. And as we tune in, breathing in, we tune into that inner fire within us, this sign of Leo. And exhale, breathe out. And allow your breath to take up space. Remembering as you breathe in, focusing on your breath and sending the breath over the crown of the head. And as you exhale, your breath, your energy, your presence is divine, sacred energy, infinite life force. Breathing in, allowing yourself to relax with each breath and inhalation and exhale on a count in a rhythm of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sending the energy to the earth. Breathing in through the nose on a rhythm of 4, 3, 2, 1, and the breath rises to the crown of the head. And on the exhale, a rhythm of 6, 5, descending down the spine, 3, down your tailbone, 1, down the sit bones to the earth. Inhale, envision feeling the breath coming up the front side of the body, up towards the belly button, placing your right hand over the belly, feeling the belly expand as you inhale. The breath rises up the heart, the throat, and up the face, towards the crown of the head. And exhale, just sense the body, the body relaxing on the exhalation, the shoulders descending down away from the ears and down your sit bones. And just taking a moment to focus in on the cycle of the breathing, inhalation coming up the front side of the body, taking your time to feel every energetic center connected to the organ systems of the physical body, your core, your heart, your throat, your third eye in front, crown of the head, and exhale down the spine, down your shoulders, your arms, down your sit bones, and down to the earth. And the breath riding up the front of the body to the crown of the head, down the spine, is actually you tuning into the inner fire, the inner veil of this heating energy, the warmth energy of Leo within you. And we all have a sign in our cosmic makeup. It just varies in the expression for us. And just taking a moment to recall that feeling when you're taking a shower and you're lathering soap on your body and you feel that like layer, the thin layer, the smoothness that rubs against the skin. And so as you're breathing, envision this layer, this light layer of light washing over you from the front side of the body to the crown of the head, down like honey or like beautiful lathering soap of light energy down the spine, down your sit bones, and then returning down to the earth, anchoring you, your physical body down to the Mother Gaia. And as you draw your next inhale breath, send your awareness to the crown of the head. Hovering above your head, about 3 to 4 inches above, is a beautiful crystalline lotus, a flower that just shines brightly and begins to spin counterclockwise over your head. And that is your connection to your higher self, to the infinite source, the life energy within us all, and creator. And as you exhale, envision the light coming, emanating from that crystalline lotus, down the spine, towards the front of the body, enveloping you from the left to the right of you, like a beautiful veil, a cocoon, a cosmic egg. And just allow yourself to tune into that feeling. And as you use your breath just to, in your imagination within you, eyes closed, to just envision this beautiful veil of protection, setting your energy for the week, setting our intention that we welcome anything that comes up because we know the inner Leo within us shines brightly. And just like we talked about, our inner soldier boy within us, our inner Leo that roars brightly and unashamed from a space of love and light and healthy perspective, has already overcome this, knows where she's going and growing. And so just allow that to sink in, and the beautiful healing energy around you within your veil. On the next breath, just envision a beautiful blue auric light, a ray of light emanating, surrounding your initial veil, cosmic egg, cocoon, front side of the body, and to the left and to the right, and all over underneath you. And within this veil, this beautiful light is your light of confidence to remember where your truth is. The truth is within you. Any answers that you seek, all you have to do is just come back in to find your space, your bubble. And on the next breath, envision a beautiful indigo ray, the angelic ray of Saint-Germain, in which the fire, we talked about this kiln, that when we are pressed like the olives, right? Like when we are being molded and formed, and then we have to be heated so we can solidify what it is that needs to come forth and fully express. We allow ourselves to be cleansed and purified, and this beautiful indigo ray surrounding the both inner layers, 3 layers that we set up energetically, helps to keep out any low vibrational unwanted energies, helps us to keep in what it is of our highest truth, And then just know that you set your energetic space. And you can practice this. Even light up your own flame, your own offering to the energies for this week to guide you through. And then on the next breath, just draw your hands to your heart center. Take a deep breath in and bow down to yourselves. And then open up the mouth and breathe out. On the next inhale, pause up at the top. And then open up the mouth and like a lion, stick out the tongue and breathe out. Inhale, take a next deep breath. And exhale, breathe out like a lion. And slowly, gently open your eyes. Bowing down to yourself, draw the thumbs to your third eye. Breathing down, returning the hands to your heart center. And then just take a moment to interlace the fingers. And inhale, open up, expand, extend the arms out in front, like you're giving yourself a nice hug. And this energy between, maybe sometimes it helps to close the eyes, between the hands, the fingers, and the space of your chest is exactly where we want to keep our boundaries. As we inhale, draw the arms up to the sky, gaze up. Exhale, draw the hands out, releasing the interlace, wiggling the fingers, sprinkling it down to our sides. And then inhale like an energy ball out in front. Open up the left arm, coming back behind you. And then wrapping back around, all around you like a circle. This is the amount of space that we want to envision ourselves energetically when we're moving on throughout the day. And just remembering, no matter what you're going through, whatever personal initiations that life is giving you this week, today, remember that you have the infinite source, the wisdom, the guidance, the gifts, powers to go through it all. And if you're looking for any personal guidance, or if you have any questions, anything that came up for you today from this energy reading, feel free to comment, send me a personal message. And I just wanted to thank you all for tuning in, for being open towards receiving and participating. And on a final note, I was remembering being recalled about how to integrate all these things that we put together in terms of the yoga, the rituals. And so in the next coming cosmic morning ritual and energy of the week, which is on Monday, which will be after the new moon, perhaps we'll integrate a little bit more of that. And just stay tuned into my Instagram, divine.cosmic.empress, where you'll see daily messages, cosmic messages to help us for this week and ground these energies from the cosmos within our human vessels connected to this beautiful planet, so we can make collective changes together. And thank you so much for coming. And I pray you guys have a blessed day. And I pray your energy is clear. Be ready and open to receive. Satnam.